Created by war, nurtured by fear, the demilitarized zone is the place where capitalism and communism face off. It cuts across the Korean peninsula, 4 kilometres wide, 250 kilometres long, lined with soldiers, landmines and razor wire. Deadly? Definitely. Strange? Certainly. But there is another side to the demilitarised zone, a side very few people ever get to see. Half a century of division and danger have created a unique sanctuary, home to very special plants, animals, even humans. But their way of life is under threat, not from war, but from peace. People often call the DMZ a no man's land, but it's not. In the middle of the zone, just a few hundred metres from North Korea, stands perhaps the most extraordinary village in the world, Chong Dong. It's not the sort of place you can just drop into or drive by. You need special permission and an armed escort. We received both, a very rare chance to visit the Cold War's final frontier.
Several North Korean guard posts right on the military demarcation line.
So we're pretty much on the edge of Chong Dong.
Yes, right here.
How dangerous potentially is this location?
This is one of the locations we don't bring a lot of people to, just because it is right on the edge of the demarcation line.
Ryan Roberts is a captain in the American military. He's been serving here for several months. So technically, North Korean soldiers could be anywhere here?
Oh, right over there, yes. There is a small body of water that runs right there that kind of acts as a small amount of protection for us.
Chong Dong is tiny. In many ways, it's like any other small South Korean village. And yet there's something strange, surreal. 220 people live here, but it's not easy to find someone to talk to. Most of the villagers are farmers. Kim Chang-yun and Yoon Sun-Duk grow rice, beans and chili peppers.
주로 주가 여긴 농사니까 농사 일을 많이 해요. 그리고 이제 뭐 농사 일을 하다 보니까 쉴 시간이 없지. 항상 거기에 매달려서 그냥 겨울에만 조금 쉬고 계속 농사 일해.
감사합니다. Hard work is the least of their worries. North and South Korea are technically still at war, and this family is living on the front line.
그러니까 그래요. 항시 그 긴장 속에서 불안하고 긴장이 돼 있고 조금만 저거 해도 밤에 잠들을 못 자고 그 정도로 불안해요 지금 뭐.
네, 여기 그렇습니다. 여기는 왜냐면 북한이 갇혔기 때문에 항시 긴장감은 항시 마음속으로 긴장감을 가지고 생활을 해야 되니까 마음을 항시 놓고 평안하게 생활을 못 하잖아요.
Despite the threat and the fear, the people of Chong Dong have prospered. This is the richest farming village in the country, protected and privileged. The villagers don't pay taxes or rent. Men are exempt from military service. Chong Dong rice is coveted. It demands high prices at market because it's irrigated with the unpolluted waters of the DMZ. The average income here is more than $100,000, 5 times what farmers earn elsewhere in South Korea.
The homes are actually more modern than most of the Korean villages around here. They're all subsidized by the government, and the government wants to keep up a nice image there at Chong Dong.
Korean War raged for 3 years in the 1950s and claimed millions of lives, including several hundred Australians. When the fighting finished, the DMZ was established, and both sides were allowed to keep one village inside it. Within rifle shot of Taesongdong is the North Korean town, Chong Dong. The US soldiers call it Propaganda Village because they believe it exists purely for promotional purposes. It's like a giant movie set. A few people work there, allegedly painting the windows on and turning all the lights off and on in unison, but no one actually lives there. Towering above the village is a flag the size of a basketball court, and its history pretty much sums up how this part of the world operates. Both towns had normal flagpoles for decades, but Taesongdong built a bigger one during the Seoul Olympics, forcing Chong Dong to go one better.
North Koreans must have got, their pride hurt or whatever, so they built a larger tower for their flagpole. It's a huge tower. It stands at 160 meters, and they even built up the flag, so the flag is larger than the South Korean flag they have here. It's so large that in inclement weather, they have to take it down or it will be torn by its own weight.
The North Korean hamlet might be called Propaganda Village, but Taesongdong has propaganda value too. The Americans call it Freedom Village, the symbol of a system that works. The local primary school is the best resourced in the country, the ideal institution, one of the officials tells me. The classes are tiny, the teaching intensive. Altogether, there are 14 teachers looking after just 15 children, spread across 7 years. The propaganda value is obvious, and for a moment it feels like I'm in that other Korea, where people are well schooled in what to say to visitors. The male voice belongs to the teacher.
놀이도 마음대로 할 수 있고, 선생님과 학생수가 적으니까 선생님과 즐겁게 아빠같이 즐겁게 학교 생활도 할 수 있어서 좋고, 과학실에 가서 실험도 마음대로 할 수 있어요. 그래서 우리 학교가 좋아요.
The pressure to perform is too much for one 8-year-old.
나게 해봐. 컴퓨터도 마음대로 할 수 있고, 그냥 네가 그냥 엄마한테 얘기하듯이 해.
Her classmate has learnt the lesson well.
왜냐, 우리 학교가 참 좋아요. 먼저 그것부터 얘기해. 왜냐하면요, 이렇게.
우리 학교는 참 좋아요. 왜냐하면요, 컴퓨터실도 마음대로 할 수 있고, 도화책도 마음대로 읽을 수 있고, 방송실도 마음대로 방송도 할 수 있고, 과학실 가서 실험도 마음대로 할 수 있어서 좋아요.
To keep their privileges, the locals have to clear some obstacles. You're only allowed to live in Taesongdong if your family was here before the war, and you spend 240 nights a year inside the village. That makes matchmaking as much of a minefield as the surrounding countryside.
뭐 이렇게 총각들이나 뭐 이제 결혼하기 위해서 좀 나가서 이렇게 지내고 그럴 사람들은 그러니까 그런 거주를 여기를 해야 하는 그 날짜가 있기 때문에 그 날짜를 지켜야 한다는 그런 불안감이 있기 때문에 좀 나가서 마음대로 뭐 여자친구를 만나거나 뭐 사회 활동을 하거나 뭐 그러니까 조금 좀 불편한 점이 많고.
The zone that protects Taesongdong is a final resting place for many men and their war machines, but it's also home to abundant life. Fenced off and very well guarded, it's become the ultimate refuge for species that have died out everywhere else. There isn't a native animal bigger than a rabbit left anywhere in South Korea, except the demilitarized zone. Conservationists believe the DMZ is home to leopards, black bears, and an even rarer predator. Deep in the mountains that border the buffer zone, east of Taesongdong, Im Sun-Nam hunts a hunter. He's spent the last 10 years searching for an animal that's officially extinct, the Korean tiger.
예, 그러니까 이제 우리나라의 과거 독립군들이라는 사람들이 있었어요. 그 힘이 어떻게 강한지 죽여도 또 그걸 하고 죽여도 또 하니까 그 강인한 힘이 나오는 게 어디서 나오느냐 이제 조사를 한 거예요. 근데 보니까 그 용맹성, 호랑이의 그 용맹성과 그 강인한 거를 그 정신을 이어받으니까 그 일정 시대 때 그 100여 마리를 죽이면서 없다라고 이제 머리에다 넣어준 거죠. 그 힘을 빼려고.
The animals are related to these magnificent Siberian tigers, filmed by foreign correspondent in Russia. Even though the Korean versions are thought to have died out decades ago, some people are convinced they still have a habitat inside the DMZ. Last year, the hunter videoed what he claims is important proof.
완전히 저 호랑이가 사는다는 걸 우리 아주 기쁘게 생각합시다. 예? 화이팅! 화이팅! 이게 하나가 다 들어가다. 이거 호랑이다. 와, 그래가지고 담배 그래가지고 막 놓고 저러니까 10cm 파워패드 10cm가 나오면 호랑이다. 마음이 막 떨리고 막 이제 우리나라 호랑이 있다는 거.
In Chong-Dong, tigers are not a problem. The main concern is North Koreans on the prowl. Because of the occasional abduction, the villages are guarded day and night, especially night. Everyone has to be back inside the village by dark when the roads are sealed, and inside their homes by 11 p.m, with the windows and doors locked. Military patrols enforce the curfew.
They actually go to the door-to-door, knock on the doors, and check to see that the families are there. They keep a roster of any guests that are visiting, and they make sure that everyone's safe and they're in their homes at a certain time. It's 2300 is the curfew.
But the American military is on the move, pulling back from the DMZ. Over the next few years, 1/3 of the US troops based in South Korea will leave.
미군들이 있으면서 우리는 굉장히 안전하고 했는데 이렇게 철수를 한다 하니까 항상 불안한 거예요. 불안하고 여길 떠야 되나 여기서 계속 있어야 되나 그런 긴장 속에서도 살고 있어요. 거의 그럴 거예요 아마 여기서 사는 분들은. 네, 개울 하나 사이니까.
Both North and South Korea want reunification, and they often hold high-level talks trying to achieve it. Now, you'd think that reconciliation would be a blessing for the people of Taesongdong, but it could be a curse. If peace were to break out here, the villagers would lose their perks, and quite possibly their farms. None of them own the land, and there are North Koreans who lived here before the war who'd be able to claim it. Peace is also threatening the DMZ's other inhabitants, the rare plants and animals. South Korea wants to begin eco-tourism in the zone. There's even talk of housing estates, industrial centres and a fun park if the ground, even if that seems unlikely at the moment.
The DMZ is this body of water which boats are not allowed to go on, and you see how heavily fortified it is on either side.
Led by K.C. Kim, a prominent entomologist, these activists and academics are fighting the DMZ's latest battle.
And there are large marshes all along the side here where the white-naped cranes come on their way to Japan.
They want to turn the zone into a World Heritage Site, a protected conservation corridor.
Development companies want to get in there and utilize the DMZ name for making money. Now, if we are going to allow that, DMZ is going to disappear even within a year, because 4 kilometers is not very big.
For now, though, the inhabitants of the demilitarized zone go about their business. living on the edge, but worrying about the price of peace. That's what I need to learn to